Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Ask Coach V. So excited to be here. Hello, Coach Ivon.
Yeah. Hey, Coach. How's it going, everyone? We love these calls. We love doing these. They're so much fun. And we got a good one today. I know we're going to talk about some awesome stuff. So, Coach V, you love doing these too, right? We share so much good stuff.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. It's a special time that we can get here and talk to guys, answer some great questions, some funny ones as well, and share our knowledge, insights, and energy with you guys. So I'm excited about today, Coach. I know you always bring some great questions. So let's get started.
Yeah, let's do it. So quick reminder for anyone tuning in for the first time or hasn't seen any of the previous episodes, this is the show where we ask Coach V, like the title says, right? So I go out there and I look online, I look in Facebook groups, I look on, LinkedIn, I listen to agents I talk to, interact with, and I see what are they asking, what challenges are they facing, what's going on. And I take what I hear, I take what I see, and I bring it here. And we always get some great content out of it, some great gold, some great knowledge to share. And I know we will today. So Coach V, you ready? How about I get right to it?
I'm ready. Let's get started and bring a lot of value to our people.
Okay, so this first question that I have, it's kind of a multi-part question, and it's a broad one. So there's going to be a lot to talk about. I know when I saw this one, I saw it posted in some real estate Facebook group. There were a lot of answers that were all over the place. So I'm curious to hear, kind of your take on it and some of the things you have to say. So the question is, what are the three most common mistakes you see buyers make?
Wow, that's a good one. We can go in all different directions. Three biggest mistakes the buyers make.
Yeah, and so how about this? Because I don't necessarily believe that there's a very specific ranking of this is number one, number two, number three.
Right.
So maybe try not to think of it as like an order, but what are some big ones that come to mind?
Okay. Well, I can tell you right away is lack of clarity. And they don't know really specific what they want. Right? You've probably seen it. We as real estate agents, and I was one, many times the buyer doesn't have a clear picture what exactly they want. Well, I want a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and in this neighborhood, but they don't know exactly in detail in the area. And then they start going, well, I want to go this way, that way. So one of the things, lack of clarity, exactly what they want. Number two, and even though it's not in a specific.
I think lack of clarity is such a big one, right? Because lack of clarity will lead to so many other mistakes, because it's like, hey, if you don't know exactly where you want to be, why you want to be there, what's important about being there, what's involved about being able to be there, then it leads to so much. So follow-up question there on clarity is, what can agents do to help their buyers have more clarity and kind of figure out what it is they want?
Oh my gosh, that's a good one. And it's good for them and it's good for the agent, is having the buyer's presentation. Really having that moment, that time that you investigate and you know everything, so you can really pre-qualify deep about the wants, the needs, the budget. Do they have a lender? Are they pre-qualified or pre-approved? Or do they go and pay cash, right? Going over the buyer's presentation, also where you set your value proposition and you stack the gold, so they decided to go with you. So yeah, the buyers are nervous about it, so they have no clarity what they want, also no clarity about the process. Remember?
Yeah, that's a big one, right? Like they might think they know what they want, but because they don't know how the process works, it might not be realistic, or they might have expectations of it to go like this, and it's going to go this way, and this is how it's going to work. And if it doesn't go that way, then, hey, you're the bad guy if you didn't clear that up for them.
Exactly, right? And many times we know, because lack of clarity, understanding the process, understanding the financing part. And now many of them have what we call champagne taste and beer pocket, right? So again, and they don't want to go all over the place. And just, it's very uncertain, very stressful. Because again, lack of clarity, they don't know exactly what's going to happen, what they want, how it's going to happen. And then it creates this process of stress and everything. So lack of clarity is super, super important.
Yeah.
And also becomes a big problem.
Absolutely. So what's number two? What would you say would be the second one they do?
Well, the buyers do, I believe, is really not trusting the real estate agent, or maybe even not picking the right real estate agent. Because If they, you see, this is how I see it. For example, when you go to the doctor, you always choose the best doctor. Isn't it true? Or at least you believe is the best doctor, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Isn't it true, Yvonne? And then when you go there, do you kind of challenge the doctor and keep resisting the doctor? Or do you say, no, doctor, I don't want the red pill, I wanted the blue pill? Do they resist and fight the doctor, or they kind of listen and pay attention?
Yeah, you trust, you listen, you pay attention.
Yeah. So one of the things I see a lot of the buyers making a lot of mistake is not trusting the expert in the field.
Yeah. And that's, I'm glad you brought that one up, because yes, I firmly believe that that's a mistake people make, right? People go in to talk to an agent and they say, hey, this is what I know, or this is what I saw in the news, or this is what I believe, or this is what I want to do because of that. And they don't want to listen to the expert opinion. Now, at the same time, there's a lot of responsibility on the agent there to show themselves as that professional and gain that trust, right? So there's a little bit of both there. Like, yes, that buyer might be making the mistake of thinking they know more, but that agent could be making that mistake of not projecting and giving that confidence to the buyer to trust them.
Oh, I love that. And you're so right. And it's true, because you see, it's a two thing here. It's a two piece involved. Of course, they are the principals, right? The buyers and sellers, in this case, the buyer. But who is the professional? Who's supposed to be the ultra professional? Us. We have to explain the process and help them to have clarity about what they want, why they want it, how soon, what is the motivation, what is the timing, and understand also their personality style, how they think, how they like to be communicated with, and also the decision maker mode. So we gotta know that and also guide them. You know what I see, and that comes to the reason why the buyers make a lot of mistakes, is because the agents, unfortunately, and I'll say it, you guys know me, no BS coach here, the agents don't have the skills, the preparation, the knowledge, and they don't take control. So they don't take control of the buyers. The buyers doing whatever they want and making the decision. So the buyers are making a lot of mistakes because the agents don't know how to articulate, communicate, and guide them to the process. They're afraid of sound salesy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
or sound
I hear you.
pushy. And then, so they get that in their head, coach.
Well, and
then
especially the ones that you brought up, for example, the buyer's presentation earlier, how important it is to do a buyer's presentation, not only to get clarity, help the buyer get clarity, but to show your value, get that agreement, make sure they're working with you. And there's a lot of agents out there, a lot of buyer's agents that are showing homes to buyers without any sort of agreement. And they might be scared to say, hey, no, what you're saying, we need to talk about that because that's not the best course of action. And they might just go along with what the buyer is doing. So there's two big mistakes there happening, right? The buyer thinks that they're the expert, and the agent, in order to keep the business, is letting them do whatever they want, even if it might be detrimental.
Yeah, many times it's lack of confidence, lack of skills, lack of confidence, lack of understanding how to prepare them. And the buyers make mistake. And also because they don't have a pre-qual, nice investigation and buyer's preparation, there's so many mistakes going on to the process. The buyer has bad experience. And then they start bad mouthing the real estate industry because they didn't have a good experience. So the buyers need to know that they also have responsibility, right? And choosing the agent, doing the homework, and the agent have to, on their terms, on their way also, to become the professional, to explain, educate, prepare them, and set expectations, because we know that one of the definition of unhappiness?
Yeah, I know one that you say all the time, Coach, is when your expectations aren't met, right?
Not met, yeah. So
yeah. I'm seeing a theme here, which is the buyers make mistakes, but if they're making that mistake, there's a good chance that the agent maybe dropped the ball to let them make that mistake, right? Because tell me if you agree, Coach, hey, it's not the buyer's job to be the expert. It's not the buyer's job to know everything. So I almost feel like this question should have been flipped around to, what are the three biggest mistakes that buyers agents make? Because it's not on the buyers to know everything.
Yeah, it's not. And because they don't know any better. They don't sell homes. They don't know the risk. They don't know the mistakes. They don't know the pitfalls. Isn't it true?
Yeah, exactly.
So
Exactly.
if they don't have clarity, who is responsibility to help them to know exactly what they want, why they want it, how soon, what's important? The other thing is they are seeing homes, Yvonne, Coach, many times they're looking, for example, let's imagine, for example, the budget is 800,000.
Well, is this going to be a mistake number 3, maybe
Yeah,
coming up?
that's what I'm gonna say.
Okay,
Mistake
so
number 3.
number 1, we have lack of clarity. Number 2, we have the not listening to the agent who's supposed to be there to help them.
Yeah.
And then hit us with number 3, Coach.
Number 3 is not doing the first step first, that I believe is to talk to the lender. Get to the lender and really know, here is my financial situation. Here is my budget. Yes, I'm qualified for $1 million, but I'm not comfortable with that. I want to have my mortgage. I want to have my financing around 850 because I want to have enough money to pay for private school for my sons. And I wanted to have vacation. I don't want to feel like, oh my God, all I do is to pay a mortgage. So they don't talk to a lender and no, just show them the house. I just want to see the house. And then they see homes that way above the budget, the comfort zone. Now they realize they can't afford their house. Now they're already disappointed because now they got to see homes for much less. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they get emotionally involved with the home that they can't purchase. And then when they find out they can't purchase, it's a big disappointment. And then even worse is now all the homes that they're going to go see afterwards that they are comfortable buying, they're going to compare to that one that they never should have seen in the first place, right?
Yeah. Now they're disappointed, frustrated, and it's very make you feel deflated. You don't want to be like, oh my God. So again, I would say right away, choose your best real estate agent based on trust, right? Based on trust. And then number 2, trust the person. Ask the questions. Yes, ask the question, release your fears and see if the person can help you. And number 3, go get a lender and follow step first to know what you're comfortable with your purchase power, because then you don't make a bad decision.
Yeah.
That's what I believe.
That's great.
Does this help?
That absolutely helps. And I think those are 3 good ones. And I just want to, I'm not trying to poke fun at any of the agents watching this, but I just want to say, hey, that's right in line with the theme, right? Because if the buyer is going out and seeing homes that are outside of their budget and that they can't really afford, or maybe they qualify for, but they wouldn't be comfortable paying for, then someone dropped the ball there, right? Because you really shouldn't be showing them those homes. So, this is such a great question of 3 common mistakes buyers make, because it really lets us to highlight, what are 3 things that you should be doing to keep buyers from making a mistake and keep yourself from having trouble.
Yeah. And I'll add one more thing, Coach, before we go to the next question. Listen, we all know if you're going to have a surgery or if you have an issue, when you go to the doctor doesn't just talk to you for a little bit and prescribe a medication. He asks you to write down a questionnaire. You do a blood exam, several exams. Isn't it true? You go to a whole, you go to a whole protocol. You go to a whole systems of everything. So it's our job when we meet a buyer, and also when we're doing our videos, to keep educating them and explaining, hey, this is the mistakes the buyers are making. Let's not have that. And this is what I believe it is, blah, blah, blah. And this is the solution, blah, blah, blah. What a great video, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Keep people from making mistakes. They're going to love you for it. So cool. I think we covered that one. Awesome. Let's go to the next one. The next one is interesting. The next one is kind of like an exclamation being made that I think the person is maybe looking for some opinions, maybe trying to wonder why this is happening to them and trying to figure out. So I'm just going to read word for word what they said, and then let's have a little conversation about it. So this was posted in a social media group, and it was just like a complaint exclamation style. So when you're working with clients for a while and they call the listing agent on a sign because they didn't want to bother you. So that's what the agent said. So right away, I'm seeing frustration. I'm seeing that this agent is wondering why this is happening. This agent is wondering maybe what they can do to keep that from happening. And I have to say it, unfortunately, it seems like this agent is blaming her buyers or complaining about her buyers, maybe more than they're wondering why that's happening and what they can do differently. So Coach V, I guess to make this into a question is, okay, you're working with some buyers, you're trying to help them find the homes, and you find out that, they're just calling listing agents, or they're calling agents on signs and on advertisements, and they're seeing homes without you. What do you do? First, why do you think this is happening? And second, what do you do about it?
Love the question because it happens, right? And again, we got to take full responsibility. Like you said, first we got to stop, breathe before we get emotional and ask ourselves, why this is happening? Now, if it one time it happened, if it only happens once, maybe they just in a hurry. They want to see the house so bad, or they knew you were busy, or maybe even out of town,
Yeah,
or maybe
or they
it's a
just got
Sunday.
they just got excited,
Yeah,
right? One
they say
time
excited.
it
Yeah,
happens. You
once.
drive by, hey, oh wow, that's a nice house. Call the number.
Exactly, right? But if this is happening right away, it's a red flag for me as a real estate agent and a coach. I know that means the clients were not properly educated through the process. Because again, and we sound repetitive because the fundamentals are the fundamentals. They happen all the time and they have to happen. Here we go again. A lack of a buyer's presentation. Because when you go to the buyer, I said if and when you go to the buyer's presentation, you go over the needs and wants, the priorities, right? And then you go over your value, work with you, the benefits of work with you, the state of the market, right? And then you go over also the process of buying with you, what is involved. Coach, I give an example. Every time I had a buyer's presentation, after I go through all the steps and I get to the point, prepare the buyer to buy, I tell them exactly what to do, how to text me, how to call me, that I and my team and I will show them homes. I actually give them 5 business cards. And I say, look, when you go on an open house, make sure you introduce yourself and give me my card and say, I'm working with Vanda Martin. You see, you got to educate them. They don't know. And it goes to back to the real estate agent. Think people know, or maybe he bought a home 3 years ago, but that's 3 years ago, or whatever it is. No, they don't know. We got to be ridiculously simple in educating our people and not assume anything. Does this make sense, Coach?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. I mean, just let's think of it this way. If you start helping a buyer and you're like, okay, I'm going to be your agent. I'll show you homes. When you call me, we'll show homes. You see a home you like, let me know. But if you don't tell them, hey, if you go drive by a sign and you see a home you like, call me
immediately,
then why would you expect them to do anything else than to call the number on the sign, right? It's like a logical thing. So anything that's happening that is against, what you think should happen, then that's on you to let them know, hey, this is how it should happen.
Exactly.
So I mean, that's one thing too. I mean, there's also possibly the chance that they're not finding the house, they're not getting the service that they want, they're unhappy, which is a whole nother red flag, right?
Oh my gosh, isn't it
a whole
true?
nother conversation. So we have no way of knowing if this is just they drove by a sign and got excited, or they're unhappy with their buyer's agent, so they're starting to call other people. But what we do know is that if you don't set the expectation and tell them what to do in that situation, when to call you, how to call you, then you're already setting yourself up for this exact situation to happen.
Yeah, exactly. So listen, the best thing to do is to prepare them so well for all situation. So like you said, not only I give the cards to them, I tell them I do an embedded command, call me immediately. Guys and girls, don't say, let me know, give me a buzz. Tell them the client, give them an embedded command. This is NLP, let them know it's important. If you see something you like, call me immediately. I go even further. I said, look, we are a team. Okay, I'm going to find a home for you, not only that's available on MLS, but what's not available on MLS, like expired or maybe for sale by owner, and I'm going to make calls for you. I know the inventory, the shadow inventory. I'm going to help you all the way. Now, we are a team. You see if something that I haven't told you about it, you call me immediately. And if you see a for sale by owner, you don't have to go talk to them. Call me and I'll take care of it. See, we don't assume anything because they don't know. Now, of course, once in a while, if it was like I said, once in a while, someone just excited to see the home, that's different. But if it is happening a lot with you, that means your communication is not the best communication. You're cutting the preparation. You probably don't have a buyer's presentation. Isn't it true?
And that's the first thing I thought when I saw that, that complaint, that exclamation was, okay, if this is happening once or twice, it's natural. It happens. People get excited. They call the number on the sign. But if it got to the point that you're complaining about it, then we're probably missing some key steps here.
And one more thing, Coach, because you said something important. Listen, the perception today is fast is the best. Everybody wants everything fast. Isn't it true, Coach?
Yeah,
And if
absolutely.
it takes you 2 days, 1 day, 10 hours to respond a text, listen, we're not going to be being puppet of the text, right? You're busy, you're doing your things, but in a proper manner, in a proper time, you should respond your calls and your texts. And if it takes you forever to get back to your client, the perception, she's too busy for me, or she's too laid back for me. Coach, I can't tell you how many times people call me, say, Vanda, I know you have this listing on 123 Main Street. I know it represents the seller, but would you represent me? I said, great, of course. Thank you for choosing me. And I would say, do you have a realtor right now? She goes, or he goes, yeah, but I'm letting it go. She doesn't follow up. She's too slow. She's not moving fast enough. So that means if you're not communicating, hey, I'm looking for your home, I'm doing this, they think you're too laid back or too slow. Or if you also don't follow up and be in contact, they're going to say you're too busy. So again, if you're not doing your job, if you're not following up, they're not going to follow through. That's a good one. But if you're not doing your job, they're going to find someone else. They have a lot of choices.
That's true. That's true. Well, you know what, Coach V, I think we answered that question. I think we covered it. And you guys, if you could take away anything from this video, for me, and maybe you agree, it would be educate your clients, set expectations, stay in good communication, and make sure they know what's going to happen and how it's going to happen. Because you'll just avoid so many mistakes, right, Coach?
Oh my gosh, it makes your job very good, Coach. It's true. It makes your job easier, simpler, better. It makes the experience. Listen, guys and girls, it's not about only customer service. Customer service is returning the calls fast and taking care of paperwork, something. Customer experience is what makes them repeat business with you and refer you. You want to provide such a great customer experience with energy, with service, first class service. So work on that, and always take responsibility for what's going on, because it's going to help you to go to another level, right, Coach?
Absolutely. So guys, hey, if you like this, if you think this is helpful, if you know anyone that would like this, make sure, first of all, you subscribe, you share this, and hey, send it to someone that you think could benefit from this or that would find this interesting. And make sure that you guys connect with us on our social media platforms, share questions, ask questions. We're there for you, and we're always going to be doing more of these, right, Coach V?
Oh, much more. Thank you, Coach. Thank you for being here. Always so brilliant. Thank you, guys, for showing up. Yes, subscribe here and be here with us, because we're always going to bring you insights and power and energy as well. So lots of love, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.
Bye, everyone.